Welcome to An Accidental Vagabond, where we explore the mosaic of our unexpected journeys. If you are interested in seeing any of my other videos on previous road trips, check the links in the description. Like, subscribe, and comment for more content. After nearly a year in Maine, we are crossing the country once again to return to Oregon. In this video, I'd like to take you on a tour of where we have rested our heads for the past 10 months. We lived in Washington Academy's boarding school for 10 months during the 2023 to 2024 school year. This is the Washington Academy School. This is where my husband worked for a year. And it was incorporated in 1792. And this building, I believe, is... I have a hard time finding the histories of the buildings, but this is... maybe the original school. Correction. This is not the building of the original school. The first classes were taught in the Burnham Tavern, which is in Machias, and then later in the Masonic Hall. This building, which we are looking at now, is from the Federal period of architecture, and it was built in 1823. I love this weather vane. And the bell tower. Yeah, it's gorgeous. I think it's gorgeous. They do still have some classes in here. I so desperately want to see a ghost. East Coast has these beautiful big houses. Colonial houses. I love this house. When we first got here, there was a lot of mold on the outside, outside shingles, but they've done a lot of work on it. Yep. This is the Alby Richardson Memorial Building. Originally, it was the Church of the Disciples of Christ, and it was built in 1811. It's a simple clapboard building with a square tower. Clapboard means long, thin boards that are used to cover walls. We also know it as bevel board or weatherboard or lap siding, and there's many different styles of clapboards. Clapboards were commonly used in New England and Mid-Atlantic between 1700s and 1800s. The building was rededicated in 1992 to Stephen Richardson and Robert Alby, two high school seniors who were to graduate in June of 1965, but tragically both boys at the age of 18 drowned in Hadley's Lake. I don't know the details of the drowning or anything about these boys, but they obviously meant a lot to the school and the town. So the current location of Washington Academy is on Cutler Road, and where we lived was on Raider Way, which is named after the school mascot. And I'm now walking down Academy Hill Road. And this is the East Machias River that eventually runs into the Atlantic Ocean because we're not that far from the Atlantic Ocean. Over here, you can see Main Street, also Highway 1, and I'm standing on Water Street, which has a few houses that are tucked on the road next to the river. Another view of the Alby Richardson building. This river deposits into the Atlantic Ocean. We're pretty close to the Atlantic Ocean. Everything up here is peninsula. Just curves in and out. I think it's got like the longest coastline out of all of the United States, coastal states. And that's because up here and down east where we've been living, the land just been little fingers like breaking off from the land. So we live in one of those, like near a peninsula, so it's about 10 minutes to get to the ocean. A little bit of history about East Machias, and I am getting this from Wikipedia. The area that we now call East Machias was first settled in the 1760s. They didn't state the exact date, and it was part of the neighboring Machias until 1826. And its original settlement grew near some falls on the East Machias River, and there were several mills were established. In its heyday, East Machias was the central hub for lumber and shipbuilding for eastern Maine. It was also the location of many sawmills and grist mills. A grist mill, if you don't know, is a mill that grounds up grain. Now, I don't know if where I'm standing now is the exact location of the mills. I'm assuming, but I could be wrong. According to the National Register of Historic Places inventory, there was the site of, this may be the site of S.W. Pope and Company grist mill, and it was the first grist mill in East Machias, built in 1788 by Captain Peter Talbot. There was also a sawmill, the site of S.W. Pope and Company sawmill, and this mill occupied the site from 1840 to 1906. And then the grist mill was built by James Foster in 1818. And there was another sawmill and grist mill of the J.M. Weiswell Company. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this location is the spot for all these mills, but this is obviously a park that is dedicated to those mills. So as I was saying about the river, the river gets low and high due to the tides. So it's really beautiful river. I like to walk on it every day in the spring. I didn't so much in the winter. It's a lower tide. Low tide time. I think it's lower than this. Holy shit, isn't that beautiful? That is a photograph. So I've been trying to find the exact location of an area called the Rim, which in the past, in the 1760s, was called Scott's Point. It was at this location that there was a significant event in the Revolutionary War, and possibly also the War of 1812. Although these events may have happened at different locations, but these events happened in East Machias. Hopefully one day, if anybody ever sees any of these videos, someone from East Machias or a history buff of Maine or the Revolutionary War can leave a comment and help me out with exactly where this location is. According to the Maine Encyclopedia, the Rim, and the site of Fort Foster, there was the very first naval battle of the Revolution, and it was on June 12th in 1775. The British ship Margarita was fired upon from Scott's Wharf or Scott's Point on the Rim Point, which I think is the space between East Machias and Machias, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not exactly sure. I've been trying to figure out exactly where this is, but there is a lot of patriotism here in this area, and tons of American flags hanging like almost every year, and a lot of memorials erected for soldiers who have fought in all of the wars of the United States. And I would say it probably stems from this event right here. I mean, after all, you've had the first naval battle of the Revolution. I suppose if you were raised with that, you would probably feel very patriotic. Here on the corner, that is also the school's building. And, oh wait a minute, no that isn't. Never mind, not this. This is the school's building. That might be the school's building too. The school actually owns a lot. Some old lodge. Masons. There's some teacher housing here. Well, not really teachers, more administrators. I think there's one teacher there. Here's the school's garden. AmeriCorps came, a woman from AmeriCorps came, Ashley is her name, to do the gardening program here. I think she did a fantastic job. Ooh, another beautiful picture. Oh, here is I think it's a First Congregational church. This lovely garden. Greenhouse. The barn. I love cemeteries. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm going to end up here one day? I'm not sure. Not here. Not this one. Son of Ed. I can't really read the year. 1821 maybe? Sure. This person here lived from 1873 to 1900. Look at all of the, oh, what is this? Lichen? Is that what it is? Although it is also really beautiful. Living on the stones of death. And here I am standing amongst the original residents of East Machias. Not the original residents of the land, of course, but the original residents of this city, or small town as I should say. A little bit about this church. This is the First Congregational Church of East Machias. It is on the National Register of Historic Buildings, and as I had mentioned, it was built in 1836. It also has a rare tracker organ, and this is the site of the historic town clock and bell, which I would hear from the dorms. I could hear the bell ringing across the campus. It is New England architecture, and it's really beautiful at night as they light it up. I love the stripes on the gates. It's not that big of a deal, but I love it. Oh, it's just so beautiful. I don't go to church, but churches sure are pretty. Love these windows. Beautiful windows. I mean, no. A church, right? Beautiful. I love these red doors. So I am now walking up Cutler Road, and this street, this road, this area is all part of East Machias Historic District. And the Historic District includes 34 sites, and it is on the National Register of Historic Places, and it was added in 1973. February 26, 1973 to be exact, the day after I was born. No special significance, just a coincidence. I think, and I could be wrong, but that Cutler Road used to have a different name called High Street. Water Street is the street below, but according to the records of the National Register of Historic Places, I don't see Cutler on here anywhere, but I do see High Street. This is the Machias town office, but I believe it used to be Mary Barnes School. So Captain Walter Robbins, later Josiah Harris, and it was built in 1800s. There are 33 homes and 4 sites that are put on the National Register. And my friend's home, I think, was added later as I couldn't find it on the register. But some of these houses will have the actual date of the construction of the home on them. I really love architecture and old homes, and in all of my videos you'll see so many images of these homes. It's a great place to walk and just kind of imagine what these places were like. This house is 1888. This is Kate's house, the girls' dormitory at Washington Academy. So for this final part of the video, I'm just gonna stop talking and let you listen to the music and also hear the sound of the birds that I would hear every single day. I'm really going to miss the nature in Maine, down East Maine in particular, the beautiful pines, which that's what Maine is known for. It's the pine state, and so many rivers and lakes and access to the Atlantic Ocean and just incredible amounts of wildlife. I will definitely miss it. Even redoing these videos and looking back at them, I already feel like a bit of a sadness at having to say goodbye. But you definitely should come out to down East Maine. Not a lot of people visit this area because they usually stay in the Bar Harbor, southern coastal parts of Maine. It's really beautiful up here too, and there's a lot of hiking to do. So these are actual real recordings from the birds that I would hear daily when I would take Penny out for a walk or just walk on this along the riverside with my friend, who I will also miss having these walks. So enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. So I'll leave you with this last image of this little barbershop on the corner of the river. Say goodbye to East Machias. Like, subscribe, and comment for more content.